Growing up, Adventure Time was always one of my most favorite cartoons. It blended surrealism with the perfect sense of humor that I just really resonated with. But deep below the Candy Kingdom lies one of the darkest and most existential stories Cartoon Network has ever told. It's a world born from apocalypse, haunted by cosmic horror and driven by characters wrestling with trauma, identity, and morality. For a generation of kids, Adventure Time was more than entertainment. It was a subtle introduction into some of life's heaviest questions. Today, we're diving into the existential horror of Adventure Time, why it never really was just for kids, and why it still lingers in our heads years later.
Princess, is that strange?
Yes!
I did good.
At first glance, the Land of Ooo looks whimsical. Candy people, magical creatures, quirky kingdoms, but its foundations are anything but cheerful. Adventure Time takes place 1,000 years after the Mushroom War, a nuclear fallout that ended human civilization. If you look closely, you'll see the scars everywhere. Broken skyscrapers, bomb craters, twisted wastelands. Finn isn't just an adventurer, he's the last known human, living in a world mutated by destruction. This isn't just background lore, it's the silent, constant reminder that Adventure Time's a story of survivors picking through the wreckage of a dead world. That's the first layer of horror, the realization that everything you're seeing is built on ruins. At the center of Adventure Time is Finn the human, the last boy in a world that has moved on without humanity, and on paper, he's a classic hero. Brave, idealistic, ready to fight evil wherever it hides, but what makes Finn so fascinating and so unsettling is how his optimism is slowly chipped away from the realities of growing up in a broken world. When the show begins, Finn sees the world in black and white. Good guys, bad guys, swords and glory. He dreams of being a legendary hero, but over the course of 10 seasons, that illusion crumbles. Finn is forced to confront questions no child should have to face. What is my purpose? Why do people I love leave me? What if being a hero doesn't mean saving the day, but simply surviving another one? One of the most striking examples comes in the Hall of Egress. Finn finds himself trapped in a bizarre, magical cave where the only way to leave is to open his eyes and confront reality. Each time he does, he's thrown back into the cave over and over until he finally accepts his situation. It's a metaphor for the painful process of growth. You can't escape life's challenges by wishing them away. You have to open your eyes and face them, no matter how much it hurts. Finn's struggles with love are equally haunting. His crush on Princess Bubblegum ends in heartbreak, teaching him that affection isn't always returned. His relationship with Flame Princess starts full of passion, but crumbles when his immaturity gets in the way. Each failed romance chips at his confidence, forcing him to grow not just as a hero, but as a person. It's a harsh lesson about how love, like everything else, is fragile and fleeting. And then there's the question of identity. Finn is the last human, but what does that mean? In episodes like Susan Strong and Islands, Finn wrestles with his origins, wondering if he's truly alone. His journey to find his family isn't just a search for others like him, it's a search for belonging, for proof that he matters in a universe that often feels indifferent. What makes Finn's arc powerful is that it mirrors our own journey from childhood to adulthood. He begins with certainty and ends with questions. He learns that being a hero isn't about glory or victory, but about resilience, about carrying on even when the world doesn't give you answers. Finn's story is a reminder of the most human truth of all. Growing up is terrifying. It means facing heartbreak, disillusionment, and the loss of innocence, but it also means gaining the strength to keep moving forward, even when the world feels impossible to understand. If Finn represents the restless energy of youth, then Jake is the voice of acceptance, a strange mix of laziness, wisdom, and surreal philosophy. On the surface, he's a comic relief, a magical dog who can stretch into any shape and will much rather nap than fight monsters, but underneath, Jake is one of the most quietly profound characters in the show. Jake's worldview is deeply rooted in going with the flow. He's not driven by destiny like Finn or obsessed with control like Princess Bubblegum. Instead, Jake accepts life's chaos, trusting that things will work themselves out. At first, this seems like laziness, but over time, it reads kind of like spiritual wisdom. Take the episode Jake the Dog, for example, where he literally has the power to reshape the multiverse any way he wants. Faced with infinite possibility, Jake doesn't seize power, conquer worlds, or chase immortality. Instead, he chooses to just go home. He realizes that no matter how grand the universe could be, what really matters is the life that he already has. There's something deeply philosophical in that choice. Jake embodies a lesson that contrasts with Finn's restless need to prove himself. Sometimes peace comes not from fighting for control, but from surrendering to what is. Even his relationship with death is casual. In Joshua and Margaret Investigations, we learn that Jake was born from a cosmic creature biting his father. His very existence is strange, unexplained, and almost absurd, but Jake doesn't question it, he just lives. He doesn't fear the unknown because he understands it's baked into the fabric of reality. For kids, Jake is funny because he's laid back and silly, but for adults, he's something else, a reminder that not everything in life can or should be controlled. Sometimes the wisest thing you can do is stretch, relax, and roll with the chaos. The Ice King might be the single saddest character in children's animation.
Your constant harassment of the female gender makes me sick.
At first, he's played for laughs, a delusional old man obsessed with kidnapping princesses, but as the show unfolds, we learn his real story. His name was Simon Petrikov, an antiquarian who stumbled upon a magical crown. To save himself and others during the war, he put it on, and it granted him immense power, but also slowly erased his sanity and memories. What makes this so haunting is how human it is. Simon isn't evil, he's sick. He loses the love of his life, Betty, not because he stopped loving her, but because his own mind was consumed by the crown's curse. The Ice King is essentially living with dementia, his past self flickering in and out of existence, trapped inside a body that still remembers love, but can't act on it. For kids, the Ice King is just a silly antagonist, but for adults, he's a mirror of real-world suffering, a reminder of how fragile memory and identity are and how easily they can be lost. But perhaps the darkest character in all of Adventure Time is Gunther.
Of all history's greatest monsters, you are by far the most evil thing I've encountered. Offer your soul to me, Dark One.
I'm joking. It's not Gunther. That guy's fucking adorable, though. Dude, if I could have a little Gunther, bro, I'd pay an insane amount of money to have a little Gunther. I mean, you're telling me you wouldn't want one of him? You wouldn't want one? Dude, I want one. If Jake represents acceptance and Finn represents the struggle of growing up, then the Lich represents something much darker. Inevitability. He isn't just a villain. He's the embodiment of death, entropy, and the slow crawl of nothingness. From the moment the Lich appears in Mortal Folly, he feels different from every other character in the series. His design is skeletal and decayed, his voice low and guttural, and his presence strips the show of its usual warmth. Where most villains in Adventure Time are quirky or comedic, the Lich has no humor, no personality, and no weakness you can relate to. He doesn't want power, wealth, or revenge, he wants obliteration, the erasure of everything that exists. From the moment he appears, the tone of the show shifts. His skeletal design, green fire eyes, and hollow voice feel ripped out of a horror movie, not a children's cartoon. When he speaks, it's never in threats or taunts, it's in chilling absolutes. The Lich, the end of all things. That's not just a name, it's a prophecy. His presence lingers even when he isn't on screen. He infects Billy, Finn's childhood hero, twisting him into a puppet. He opens portals across the multiverse in search of ultimate destruction, and every time Finn thinks he's defeated him, the Lich finds another way to return because he's not a villain you can just kill, he's an idea. He's inevitability. The real horror of the Lich is how he mirrors the darker parts of existence we try to ignore. The fact that, in the end, all things decay, heroes grow old, kingdoms fall, stars burn out, the Lich is the voice whispering that none of it matters because nothing can escape oblivion. One of Adventure Time's most fascinating aspects is its obsession with time. Episodes like Fooey or Is That You play with dreamlike, non-linear storytelling. Entire lifetimes can pass in a single episode. In Fooey, Finn lives an entire alternate life, grows old, has children, and dies, only to wake up and realize it all happened inside a pillow dimension. These episodes raise questions kids might not think to ask, but adults can't ignore. What makes a life real? Are our experiences still meaningful if they end suddenly, or if they're forgotten? If time is so fragile, then what actually gives our existence value? Adventure Time often answers with bittersweet ambiguity. Life is fleeting and memory is fragile, but the connections we make, the love that we share remain real, even if they fade. When you step back and look at Adventure Time as a whole, it becomes clear that this was never just a cartoon, it was a meditation or existence dressed up in candy colors and fart jokes.
They're so evenly matched that it's a stalemate.
The show never pretends that things will last forever. It doesn't promise us happy endings. Instead, it leaves us with something far more honest. The The reminder that meaning isn't found in permanence, but in the fleeting connections we make along the way. Finn and Jake, Simon and Marceline, the heroes and villains, and the kingdoms and wars, all of it eventually fades, but the bonds, the love, and the moments of joy, those are what matter. And that's why Adventure Time still haunts us years later, because beneath magic swords and candy people, it told us the truth. The same truth that philosophers have been wrestling with for centuries, that life is fragile, death is certain, and the only thing that makes it bearable is each other. And that's why I strongly believe that there will never be another show like Adventure Time. Even Fiona and Cake. Honestly, I didn't really like Fiona and Cake. You can hate me all you want for that, but I was not a fan. Thank you guys so much for the support on the last video. It's actually crazy that it's almost at 2,000 for the first video on this channel. We just hit 300 subs. Let me know in the comments what shows you guys want to see me cover next, or if you want to see me dive deeper into Adventure Time. I'd love to do that. There's so much lore. Yeah, thank you guys so much. Like the video, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do the YouTuber things. Thank you guys for everything. I love you. I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go eat steak tips. I'm gonna go cook some steak tips on the grill because I'm hungry. Yeah, okay. I love you. Thank you guys. This is crazy. We're about to take over the internet. Love you. Bye.